Hi, friends. I'm Scott Giles, and welcome to Power Talk, my podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I cover topics related to spirituality, hypno-coaching, and the hypnotic arts and sciences generally. If you want to know more about my professional work or sign up for my free e-newsletter, Power Lines, check out my website, which I'll tag at the end of this video. Today, I want to talk about your self identity. Who are you really? Now, this isn't as simple a topic as you might think. Buddhist psychology says that you really don't have a self identity. The person you were at age 5 is now long gone, and you're a very different person. In 10 years, you'll be different still. Therefore, according to the Buddhist psychologist, there is no such thing as an enduring self. You are a process that is in the process of transforming into whoever you'll be next. But in Western civilization, the philosophical tradition is different. In most Western cultures, we have the tradition of people saying they have a soul, which is usually defined as some sort of enduring essence that captures who we are and which can persist beyond the death of the physical body. There are some religions, for example Hinduism, where it is believed that we all have an enduring essence or soul that moves not just in this life, but through many lives, reincarnating over and over again. But leaving aside a discussion of the soul, if I were to ask you to tell me who you are, you'd probably find that would be a hard question to answer. For myself, I find that my behavior and responses vary from situation to situation. I behave in accord with different rules in my home life than I do in my professional life or my political work as the legislation and governmental concerns person for the National Guild of Hypnotists. Yet beneath all of these roles, there is, I think, a core description of who I am. I live in accordance with an ethical code that does not vary with my social role. I have preferences that endure as well, so there is sort of a core self, and if I work at it, I can come up with a list of my essential qualities, which, if not lifelong, at least tend to endure over the years. Now, this doesn't really describe what some people call a soul, but it does get to a deep place. Theologian Paul Tillich, who has profoundly influenced my own thinking, wrote that what a person regards as holy or sacred is whatever they hold as of ultimate concern. Your ultimate concern is what you think is the most important thing for you. It could be a religion or a political goal or a family goal or almost anything else. I've met people who unhesitatingly say that everything they do is for God, while others might say everything they do is for their country or their family or even for their career. What I've come to believe is that how someone answers the question, what is your ultimate concern, leads to discovering who they are at their core. If what they care the most about is family, then at core they are relationship based. If what they care most about is politics, then they are at core a political loyalist, and so on. So, what are you at your core? What is the thing you regard as of ultimate concern? What do you take with total seriousness? Answer that, and you will discover what your core self is. For me, it's my personal integrity. I try to be a person who means what he says what he means, and walks his talk. I grew up with a bunch of people who didn't do that, so this probably became really important to me in reaction to being let down so many times. But for me, there is nothing more important than being a person who comes through and who is trustworthy. What is that for you? Now, let me stress that there is no right or wrong answer here. You are entitled to have whatever sort of core identity you have. If it gives you comfort and a sense of meaning, that's great. Provided it doesn't harm anyone else, you are completely entitled to do you. But I suggest you do that little mind game. Ask yourself, what is your ultimate concern? What is the thing or things that you take with complete seriousness? What would comfort you if things got rough? Knowing that about yourself is really important. Ultimately, the most important power we each have is the power to decide for ourselves what things mean. No one can take this power from you, although you can relinquish it, and far too many do, deciding to just go along with what an authority figure says and not thinking for themselves. I don't recommend that. Do the work. Know what is really important to you, because that allows you to discover who you really are, and that then provides guidance for what kind of a partner to choose, what kind of a lifestyle to have, what kind of an occupation to go into. If you're going to retire, what should retirement look like? Because all of these things have to be compatible with who you are at your core. And you can get surprised. I know someone who would have said that his religion, his faith, was the most important thing to him until his religious values clashed with his family values. He was anti-abortion, no exceptions. Then his wife needed an abortion to save her life, as she had an ectopic pregnancy. And he suddenly realized that his wife's life was worth more to him than his religious beliefs. While she didn't need his permission, she did want his support in helping her survive. She got it. And fortunately, they were in a state that allowed that procedure, and she's fine. But he would have said that at his core he was a Catholic. He was, in fact, a member of a very conservative branch of the Roman Catholic Church, the Legion of Christ. But he discovered that his core was really a family member and a husband. And when he had to choose between his faith and his wife, it was his relationship with her that was his real core. And his core was to be the person his wife trusted. So who are you really? What is your core as a person? In ancient Greece, the command, know yourself, was inscribed on the lintel above the entranceway to Apollo's temple at Delphi. The origin of that inscription is unknown, but its import was that it was believed that if you went before the god Apollo and didn't know who you were at your most sincere core, you would not find favor in the eyes of the god. Well, Apollo isn't so relevant anymore, but the meme is sound. You will have a better life if you know who you really are. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. I'd like to invite you to join me. It really helps me if you let others know about my work, so please like, share, and subscribe. And if I can be of help to you, feel free to reach out through email, my website, or my Patreon channel. Stay well and stay safe.